For an organization that's such a gong show, or has been, and they're trying to turn the corner, like, what do you make of that guy just saying, I'm going to be at some event? For the guy, especially with the comments saying, anything that doesn't have to do with winning, we want flushed out of this organization.
He's Aaron Rodgers has an interesting career, right? Because everyone knows the way it all began, being overlooked and falling to 24 and then having to sit behind Favre. And then, he became a great player, and he got all the accolades because he was such a great player. And now it's like the last 4 or 5 years. Look, I love a guy who speaks his mind, right? He's not speaking carefully, and some of the things he says make great fodder in conversation. As a journalist, I should love that. But it's like, you don't get enough attention for football, dude. You know,
Exactly.
You've been an MVP. You won a Super Bowl. You're a franchise quarterback on a team that's, it's in a small market, but it's one of the biggest brands in the NFL. I mean, you're in a conversation with Brett Favre and among the greats of this era, and yet, like, you still got to, like, throw other stuff into the mix here. And you're right. It's so classic Jets, right? Because the Jets have been the team that can't get out of their own way forever, it feels like. And now they're going to come back with this guy distracted and, again, heaping all kinds of attention on himself from places other than football. I don't get it, but it's, all it's going to do, is just build more and more intrigue. Between last year, I was at that game last year where he went out and, the second snap or whatever. And between what happened last year and all of the offseason noise about him and running for vice president and ayahuasca and everything else it just builds more intrigue. Just builds more intrigue, more attention, more curiosity about the guy.
Yeah, it's a soap opera. Like, that's what he is, and the Jets have added fuel to it by announcing it was unexcused, and they could have buried it. A lot of other teams would have. You can be unhappy behind the scenes. You can be blunt with him and say, listen,
well, what did you want them to say,
sign.
Hayes? He asked for permission and we gave it to him, so he went to the event?
From a PR standpoint, that's probably the right play.
I guess, yeah.
What I'm saying, especially in New York, and when you're dealing with someone as polarizing as Rodgers, because now everyone's like, where is he? What's he doing? What's he up to? Because, he's into a lot of different things. He's very opinionated on many different fronts, a lot of it political.
Well, think of what's going to happen, the conversation around him, if when the season starts, he sucks. And I don't just mean, that he sucks, like, really terribly, but that he's not Aaron Rodgers, that he's not. And, like, you got to figure it out here, right? The last time this guy played meaningful football is, December, January of a year and a half ago. So then you factor in the injury. Then you factor in all these distractions and other things he's been doing. Then you factor in that he's 40. There's a lot of things that kind of are weighed on what Aaron Rodgers might be as a football player this year. And, not all of them are pointing in the right direction. So, I think there's always this kind of idea that he can just shed all that stuff. And, when he takes the first snap, he becomes Aaron Rodgers. But, he's already into territory where not many guys have been able to play at a high level at his age. I know we all got kind of seduced by Tom Brady doing it at 46. But, look at the list of guys that have done it at 40. Not very long.
Yeah, exactly. And coming off a gruesome injury like that on a team that really doesn't have a great history of winning, like, there's a lot of odds going against Aaron Rodgers here.